What's up, solutionaries? Welcome, everybody. I am Maj Toure, your host. Welcome to the Maj Toure Show, where we talk about politics, entertainment, sports, all of that pop culture stuff, but only if it ties into solutions because we are solutionaries. It's Friday, September the 19th. Time is flying by. It's Friday. I won't see y'all until Monday, unless you're in our Solutionary 9 Telegram group, private community. Or you just happen to shoot me a DM and I got time to chop it up with you. But tonight, we're going to talk about these 58 Democrats that rejected the resolution honoring Charlie Kirk. Now, I want to say this first, y'all. Before I get to that, y'all know, support the work. GiveSingo.com/solutionary. Our firearms work, Second Amendment work, and all of that happens because of your voluntary donations. We've done that for the last 8 years. We want everybody to support the work. GiveSingo.com/solutionary. It's streaming right under you if you're watching on Rumble and X. That's Rumble and YouTube. And if you're watching on X, it's right above. What's up, Mad Boy? How are you? Y'all, listen, I want to be very, very clear. I'm tired of talking about and seemingly, and I say this in a very respectful way. What's up, protocol? Hey, y'all know the rules. When y'all come in, type up, let me know where y'all from, all that other good stuff, what city you in. If you're watching on X, make sure you hit the button. Friday, traditionally, we have less people on the show tapping in. Why? Because a lot of you are not disciplined. Friday night, y'all get off of work and y'all go to the bar, go to whatever. So I can be a little bit more candid with people on Friday because it's not as many of y'all. Okay? Y'all, everybody's not up in their, feelings as much because of the fact that there's a lot of there's more solutionaries as opposed to beginners on Fridays or new to the squad. Like Mohagan, what's up? Big Rob, what's up? Protocol, Mad Boy, y'all are solutionaries. And this is not a diss to everybody else. Mr. K2B2, what's up? Right? It's just me saying I get to express a little bit more aggressively with y'all because y'all understand what my thought process is. Y'all understand what my perspective is, okay? Protocol, Savannah, Georgia. Corporal Kickass from Philly. So I wanna tell y'all a little. It's gonna sound a little bit more aggressive, but y'all know I weave. So I'll go in and out and come back and bring it back to the point that I'm making. I'm tired of talking about Charlie Kirk, and I say that because it starts to look like people are trying to just mention Charlie Kirk in his name to kind of just benefit off of his death. There could be, the theory about who killed him. There could be whether it was Israel, whether it was the Mossad, whether it was this. And that's not really what I think the death of Charlie Kirk actually should represent. I think the death of Charlie Kirk should get more people involved in situational awareness. I think it should get more people involved in personal protection. I think we should stop thinking that because we're on a gun-free zone campus that we seem to be fine. And I think it should make more people, when we first went over this death, as I said, there were videos that you guys, if you tapped into the show, you'll see them, they're recorded. There were people saying, hey, I think there's a guy on the roof a few hours before he was shot. So this, and again, I was not a fan of Charlie Kirk. Met him a few times, didn't like his energy, just didn't. Didn't like some of his talking points. However, in death, it still means you still have to push forward with your mission and you don't get fake or try to take advantage of somebody because you didn't see eye to eye on all of their talking points. As solutionaries, we are balanced individuals. That's our job, to be balanced and present solutions. So I didn't want to talk about Charlie Kirk's death, but it's so many people attempting to take advantage of it in like a negative way that doesn't serve other people. Okay, if I say, hey guys, what did we learn from the Charlie Kirk death and shooting? Situational awareness, this, that. A lot of our classes are free. Okay? And you don't have to take a situational awareness class with me. I just want you to get the information. I want you to pay attention to your surroundings. I want you to understand imminent threat regardless. I'm not the only game in town teaching these things. So when it's very self-serving and it's very egotistical so you can get your little internet dopamine hit off, I start to be like, ugh, right? We seeing people all across the country getting mad and talking about boycotting Starbucks. When if you write of the political aisle, you should have never been in Starbucks. You been knew that Starbucks was a leftist organization. Y'all knew that. You know their policies. Look at who they hire. Okay? So you getting mad that they won't write Charlie Kirk on your cup so you could post it to the internet for clout. And that's the part that starts to become disgusting and sickening to me, because that's clout shit that serves nobody but yourself and your dopamine hit. So I didn't want to talk about Charlie Kirk. And then this happens. Every single House Republican voted to condemn the murders in Minnesota. Now, before y'all jump out there, Maj, damn, you being unbalanced. I'm going to give y'all the balanced perspective, so I don't want y'all to get it twisted. Everybody's chopping in. Everybody's tapping in. Hit the like button. If you're watching on X, YouTube, Rumble, hit the like button. Share it all over the place. Starbucks is a leftist organization that you should not be giving your money to. Keimer Shadow says Starbucks gets targeted from everybody. They get targeted from everybody because they consistently on the wrong side of the coin, and their coffee ain't that good. If you're right of center, you should 1000% be supporting a local coffee shop. Unless I rock with Dunkin', but let me find a local coffee shop in any part of the world that I'm in. I'm going to it. Coffee shops, little restaurants, I'm there. So these people on the left are coming up with all of these grifts, and then it goes into, like I said to y'all all week, I said it's always going to be legislation that's associated with taking advantage of your emotions. I said that the day Charlie Kirk died, September the 14th, the day after he died, September the 15th, J.D. Vance was already on television, and I'm glad I recorded it instead of it just being a thought, because that's what politicians do. And in this instance, we got somewhat the reverse, or both experiences. Congressman Randy Fine here says, every single House Republican voted to condemn the murders in Minnesota. Meanwhile, 58 House Democrats refused to condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk, and another 38 put their hands in their pockets. Now, what is a resolution? Okay, we got to ask this question, and we got to be very honest with ourselves. You may think that based on the title of tonight's show, you might actually think that I'm about to get in here and like just go hard on the Democrats. And I am, but not only. As solutionaries, we have a phrase that y'all have heard before. Keep that same energy. Okay? So when I call it cringe for somebody to go into Starbucks and then get mad and say, we're going to boycott Starbucks because you didn't put Charlie Kirk's name on my drink. And they know Charlie Kirk's favorite drink that was double mint something, whatever. And I know just because it's been all over the internet. You want Starbucks to put another man's name that's not your name on your cup. If it's a girl, if it's a chick, I could kind of give it somewhat of a lighter cringe pass, but it's still cringe, and I don't give it a pass. However, if you're a dude, you're gay. That's it. You're a meat gobbler. That's how I view it. If you are going to get on to Starbucks and put another man's name on your cup that's not your name, as opposed to even if you're going, yo, I rock with Charlie, I'm gonna have one in honor of him, libations and all of that. Those are very Afrocentric principles, and I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that part. Yo, y'all, just putting one in the air for Charlie Kirk. He took a round for the team, da-da-da-da. His favorite joint is da-da-da-da. I'm not mad at that. But now you're doing the extra. So if I say that that's a certain level of cringe for them, I'm definitely keeping that same energy for these Republicans that think that that is a flex. Why? Because we have to talk about what an actual resolution is. Oh, I agree with you, Ryan. Ryan just pulled up a good point. If you're in the chat, read what Ryan just said. I think all of this is free speech, as disgusting as it may be to me personally. It is free speech. And I get to have the free speech of saying that shit is corny. Okay? Resolutions hold no weight. It's empty symbolism. That's what resolutions are. Okay? While we're talking about resolutions, and while we immediately got the Charlie Kirk Act presented, right? When Republicans, and I'm not going to let them slide off this. What's up, KP? I'm not going to let them slide off of this. Republicans got the House, the Senate, and the executive branch, and they didn't figure out a way to get pro-gun legislation in a big, beautiful bill. Meanwhile, September the 30th, we going right back up for another CR conversation, another CR bill. What's up with the continuing resolution and seeing how they're going to fund the government again? Kicking the can down the road. But y'all want to talk about this symbolism and then say, oh, see, the Democrats are evil because of yada, 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 yada. Both sides are cringe. The legislation needs to be limiting government. And I get and agree with honoring, if you're a Republican, I can't expect a Democrat to, want to give some love to Charlie Kirk. If you've called these people your political opposition, they the ops. Why the fuck do you think that they will be objective and give you an inch? When I'm in a defensive gun usage, I want to kill you. I want to stop the threat. Politics is war without the bullets until it turns into war. So why do you think that they would even want to try to give you some sort of objective love? Y'all have been played against each other, and y'all are playing each other against each other and playing your constituents against the other side. So did you expect that they would give you some form of decency? Why would you think that, buddy? What would be the reason that you would think the party that celebrates the murdering of children in the final trimester, why do you think that they will be like, yeah, Charlie Kirk, on top of the fact that Charlie Kirk did say some bigoted bullshit to generate clicks and all of that towards the end of his career? He did. He did. That's just what it is. I think he has some great messaging and he was a great communicator on certain things. Charlie Kirk's introduction to politics was libertarianism. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Charlie Kirk was initially introduced? There's a email. The first exchange that the great Tom Woods had with Charlie Kirk was when he was 18 years old. And he said, yo, I like what you're doing. There's pictures of Charlie Kirk in 2017 or 2018 or something like that with like in the Fed flyers. He got in the game and went Republican because of the two-party system. But he also started picking up some of them goofy, bigoted talking points from the lily white conservative movement. He did. The statement of, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be a little bit, nervous because of the DEI conversation. There's a way to say that without. Angela Stanton King has put out her text messages between her and Charlie where she was critical of him on his bullshit talking points. I'm not going to fake because of the fact, if he would have changed this tune before he got shot, I would have had a different conversation about him. But he didn't. So I'm going to acknowledge what he did that I thought was good. And I'm going to acknowledge what I thought was stupid. He had that same, on those talking points, the Myron Gaines talking points, but not as extreme. Fresh and fit for politics type shit. I'm not here for it. And I say that, and I know Gavin McInnes. So I'm saying this to y'all because I'm going to be objective like that against the deceased. And I respect that he built something. I respect that. He got focused. He was a political animal. He believed in his faith. He was contradictory on some of his faith. That does not in any way, shape, or form deserve for him to die. But I'm an objective solutionary. You expected politicians in D.C. that are fucking liars, Democrats, the party of the Ku Klux Klan, you expected them to not be contradictory? In what world? So yes, 58 House Democrats refused to condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk. Another 38 put their hands in their pockets. What he means by that, 38 put their hands in their pockets, is they opted to say, here it is right here. Those 38, present. They just decided to say present. I'm here, but didn't say yay or nay. Okay? That's what happened. Why would you expect anything different? But this is empty symbolism. I don't need a resolution to condemn assassination at all. I don't need a hate crime bill. Oh, the racist white dude killed the Spanish dude, killed the Asian dude. The racist Asian dude killed the black dude, killed the white dude because they hated white dude, black dude, Asian dude, insert whatever, intro, whatever you want there. I need justice to be happening for that murderer, and then I need him locked under the fucking jail. That's it. I don't need, we gave him 2 life sentences because it's a hate crime. That's not real. See, as a solutionary, we keep that same energy. If I'm saying that for hate crimes, first of all, you're not going to get me on the hate crime. I am 1,000% going to Swiss cheese you. I promise you I will. We practice situational awareness and we understand imminent threat. I'm going to light you all the way. You will never be able to practice a hate crime on me other than saying stuff on the internet. You never will. I'll smoke you. I'm going to be smoking on your pack and your family going to need that fish fry. I promise you I will. I'm going to avoid, de-escalate as much as possible. But if you if the decision is between me and you, it's not going to be me. I have to be here till I'm 99 years old. That's just dope. I'm doing a Betty White out this joint. I've made the decision. I'm doing a Betty White. I don't need you to condemn, or any of these things. I don't need special protections. I don't need the police. When seconds count, the police are minutes away. I don't need none of that. So this resolution is a little bit cringe. And it's something that they can say to go, see, look how evil and disrespectful the Democrats are. Meanwhile, again, if you're Republican, don't be mad at me. You should be a solutionary, not just a Republican. You should be liberty-minded, independent thinking, free thinking, critical thinking, solutionary. That maybe we need the solutionary party. Maybe I get to 100 million, we'll start working on that. Okay? So if you're a Republican, don't be offended. I work for you. I work for you. We on the same team. Don't be offended that I'm critiquing. It's cringe when people go into Starbucks and do that. It's cringe when they say this and then they try to pit y'all against each other. See how evil the Democrats is? Meanwhile, J.D. Vance, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, absolutely clapped for killing Venezuelans on a boat that was alleged to be drug trafficking in the ocean. And I've still yet to confirm any proof that those were drug traffickers. And even if they were drug traffickers, arrest them or catch and release, send them back, whatever, take their word. But murder? So you're talking about how evil they are, but you don't even know who the people is that you targeted the boat. You are 1,000% still sending money to Israel for what is effectively the international community has called, it's not my lane. It's not my lane because I don't want to get into this, the Jews conversation. I'm not into it. I want to work about, I'm dealing mostly with the Americans in my space. All right. But you just effectively gave another arms package after you complained about the Biden administration sending money to Ukraine and Israel. But you did the same thing all over again. That supports what all intents and purposes everyone has called a genocide. Gaza looks like a fucking parking lot. But you want me to believe that the Democrats are evil because they said no to their political opposition being championed, that their constituents, black, brown people, a lot of them, don't rock with. How does that look? Why would they do that? And what world would they do that in? Why does that make sense? No, it's packaged to you to make it look like that because then they could blame the Democrats. Meanwhile, I want y'all to tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. One, also, if y'all watching on whatever platform, see, this is why I get mad at y'all. There's a few hundred of y'all here watching, right? Everybody repost it. If you're watching on X, let's see how many people watching on X. 124 y'all on X, right? Everybody on X should hit the repost button. Just repost it. See, this is where y'all lose me, or I get mad at y'all, and then y'all get mad at me, and we damn near got to start over. We are up against a duopoly, a uni-party, presenting itself as two things. Then when I say we got to generate more energy and get this message out because the general public enjoys this message and can appreciate it, right? Appreciate that, mad boy, right? Then I say it's free 99. It don't cost y'all nothing. Just hit the repost button and y'all lame out. Don't be talking to me. Don't get mad at me when I'm critiquing the Republicans or critiquing the Democrats. Some of my followers is on the left. Some of my followers is on the right. And I'm pushing back against y'all because y'all won't be honest about how we can shift this narrative. If we got better libertarians and solutionaries in the room, you're going to have better Republicans and better Democrats because we the people going, nope, we holding them all accountable. Bookworm says, we care about the price of groceries and the job market. A Charlie Kirk resolution will not affect our lives. 1,000%. And we got to start saying that. You can honor, if you down with honoring Charlie Kirk, get a tattoo. Gay, if you a guy, but get a tattoo. Right? Throw a vigil up. Put a picture up. You don't need the government to co-sign your grief. What's wrong with you? Stop. Y'all keep, we as the American people, I'm going to stop separating myself from us. We all in this slave shit. We all tax cattle. You all paying taxes, 40% of your money going to, it's interesting. We on a spinning globe in a huge galaxy in a bigger solar system, working, paying 40, 50% of our earns back to DC Democrats and Republicans that's Satan worshipers, that's fucking pedophiles. That's where we at right now. We all on this in this boat together. I'm just from the warrior class. That's all. And the intellectual class. That's it. The handsome class too, if I say so myself. If we're being honest about it, guys. I have attractive privilege. Brain privilege. All right? My point in saying this, y'all, is don't get mad at me because we're not doing the things necessary to defend against the bullshit when I say, yo, y'all share the shit all over the place. That's why they controlling us. Exactly. Kymer Shadow. The shoulder privilege. I got big shoulders. I got shoulder privilege. I walk in the room. I shoulder that shit. Okay? But why do they do this? Why do they say things like this? They say this to deflect from this. 210 Republicans refused to get justice for thousands of victims to Epstein. This is the Republicans, 211 actually. Okay? That didn't want the Epstein files released. So you want to talk to me. Now, let me be very clear. Sometimes they do certain things. They'll put something in something with something else. And a politician, that's why it's important for you to read the bills. They'll give it a cool name. It works both ways. They'll mix the Epstein list. All right, well, if you want the Epstein files released, you got to give us an extra $1 trillion. And then they'll be all in one. That's why we need single issue bills. And then the people that vote against it, the other side will be like, see, they didn't want your children to be safe or whatever they'll spin it as. This is a game that they play. This is a game. This is why I keep telling y'all to get involved in civics and especially get involved in a local level. I ran for city council to learn and understand. I got my ass whipped. No problem. I ain't tripping. I got my ass whipped. But I fought knowing that I was going to get my ass whipped. I ran as a libertarian in an 80% Democrat city. Are you kidding me? For a city council at large seat that only pays $140,000 a year. Okay? That's not, I would have taken a downgrade in so many ways. But if I would have won, I would have been able to serve my local community. Why I'm telling y'all that is we focused on the national level, and that's important, but it cannot be to the extent that we ignore our local situation. For example, show of hands. I want to hear y'all. I want y'all to comment. I want y'all to tell me, quote, post, whatever it is. How many of you know both of your neighbors? If you live in a row home, do you know your name of your neighbors on this side and your neighbors on that side? And if you do know their names, how often do you kick it with them? All politics is local. It's going to get down to the local tip. 1,000%. So while we talking about these Democrats that didn't listen to the Charlie Kirk situation and how evil they are, We gotta, as solutionaries, as liberty-minded solutionaries, limited government solutionaries, we gotta go, wait a minute. Y'all are still kicking the can on this continuing resolution with the balanced budget. That conversation is coming up in a few weeks. They said in March. First, they said in December of 2024. Wait, let's not go too heavy on talking about the budget right now, because we don't want to take it, the Republicans. We don't want to take any energy away from getting Trump in office. We got to beat Kamala. That's what they said. Some of us that were smarter was like, y'all haven't had a balanced budget in decades. Y'all are lying. Y'all want a continuing resolution, and then y'all say, oh, but the government's going to shut down. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about the federal government. I think the anti-federalists were right. If you don't know what the anti-federalists are, go take the civics class. Solutionaryuniversity.org. Take the damn class. But they boogeyman you. They go, the federal government's going to shut down. The Democrats want the federal government to shut down. The Republicans want the federal government to shut down. They play both ends against the middle, and they play in that shit right in front of your face. Meanwhile, when another president dies, Barack and Trump keying sitting right next to each other. I thought he was trying to destroy America. This is wrestling. And don't blame me as the messenger. I'm just telling y'all what's happening out here. I'm telling y'all what's happening. This is why we got to strengthen more and more and more solutionaries. So we have our own island. But let's go into what was said, though. What was said? This was a very simple resolution, just to honor the life of a man who was assassinated. There's no strings attached here. Let's play it. Y'all let me know if the audio good or not.
Well, we just got some breaking news here, Chad, that Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democrats, the House Democrats, just...
Sidebar, I don't like Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries, when I testified at Congress on some pro-gun stuff, you should go look it up. Maj Toure Speaks at Congress, YouTube it. Sidebar, my outfit, my hair, and my turtleneck. I know some of y'all don't like turtlenecks, but I feel like 007 in a turtleneck. I was amazingly handsome. So let's just be very clear about that. You've never seen a pro-gun person go destroy Congress looking this handsome. In the existence of Congress, no one's looked at as pro-gun and as pro-handsome. It hasn't happened, guys. Turtlenecks are what it is. I look like a mixture between Archer and James Bond from North Philadelphia. That's what happened, okay? But I don't like Hakeem Jeffries because when I was there, he tried to play me. He was talking about, you sell merch on your website, is that correct? And y'all know Hakeem Jeffries is like a Temu version of Barack Obama. You know what I mean? He like a dollar store Barry. You feel me? Saying this to say, nah, Bronson, you tripping. Brandon Herrera ain't have me beat on talking to Congress. I know Brandon got that. We follow each other, so it's all good. Brandon got that slick back, but he ain't do it the way that I did. He just didn't. He didn't. That's my man. You know what I mean? But he ain't do it how I did. But Hakeem Jeffries tried to play me. You sell T-shirts on your website? Is that right? Right? And I said, yes. And he said, well, one of them says, make the hood great again. What does that mean? And when I gave him the answer, he yielded his time. Yeah, yield back your time, champ. See, this is the beauty of being a solutionary. And this is why I want all of y'all to be members of our private community. Not only do we sharpen each other, challenge each other in that. Some of y'all in the Telegram group. It's like thousands of people all around the country just networking in that group. Okay? We sharpen each other and challenge each other in private to make our talking points better. We pull and critique each other if somebody will play the left and somebody will play the right, and we'll argue it out. So we destroy the talking points all the way around. Okay? This is what we do in a group. But when you're sitting down and you're having this conversation and you're being balanced and you could chop these people up, you strengthen yourself and then you share that information with your neighbor and they all become force multipliers. That's important. So Hakeem Jeffries tried to play me and I chopped him up and he had to yield his time back. I want to take everything from our political opposition. And who is our political opposition? It's not the right or the left. It's people that are pushing more government that takes more of your money, that's more involved in your life. Some of these people are our political opposition and they don't know it. That's why it's our job to articulate these things and give them a sound understanding so they move differently. I don't want to make enemies out of my enemies or enemies out of the ignorant. I don't want to do that. I want to make them our friends. When you're a solutionary, you get better at that. Okay? And then we help each other. But Hakeem Jeffries tried to hit me with that. That's why I don't really rock with him. But let's play a little bit more.
Voted yes. He's a yes on honoring Charlie Kirk, and AOC just voted no. So there is the divide right there within the Democratic Party on a resolution that really should be bringing everyone together. Thank you, Chad Pergram, live on the Hill for us with that breaking news. Let's bring in Shannon Bream now. Give us your take on, this is a resolution that is very simple.
On this vote,
very easy to understand, and there it is. It's final now. Let's listen in.
Voting present are 38. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
There it is. It has passed in the House, this resolution to honor Charlie Kirk. Shannon, your takeaway on this divide we're looking at right now on the House floor where Democrats couldn't move themselves to vote yes on this.
Well, and you've got several of them out there that
I'm going to pause it for a second, y'all. Nobody cares. They not going to conveniently tell you. How many of y'all, by show of hands, have heard the arms package last week that was sent to Israel? How many of y'all heard about it? Did it hit your Twitter page? Some of y'all it might because y'all tuned in. But they ain't talking about that. They are not talking about this CR spending bill. I tweeted it this morning. I was like, okay, so we just not going to talk about CR spending? Continuing resolution? We just not going to have a conversation about it? Nope. Mr. K2B2 says, nope, he ain't heard nothing about it. How many people in the chat have actually heard? Give me something. Tell me something in the chat. Yo, I heard about it or I didn't hear about it. It ain't getting blasted on the front. Low key, both sides are low key using Charlie Kirk and his death to deflect from things that we should be talking about and or to point the finger at the other side to ignore what we're doing that we shouldn't be doing. So what happened?
are publicly saying that they think of Charlie's legacy as something much different than Republicans do. We talked about this with the speaker on Fox News Sunday, and some comments from Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who has said, you want to call people's bleep out on this. They're trying to rewrite his legacy and calling him a hateful person. Republicans will say, go watch his clips, the things he's being accused of, racism and bigotry and these other things. You'll see that melt away if you watch the conversations.
Listen. Nobody in none of my clips, unless they absolutely chopped and screwed, I'm black, if you didn't know, right? There's nobody can say Maj got a bunch of clips saying things disparaging different ethnic groups in America and then turn around and say we're all American. Charlie was contradictory there, bro. Like that's just what it is. And I know why. If you're trying to appeal to the bigoted low IQ or base of the Republican Party, you say little things like that. Like when they be like, the white man is under attack. The Patriot Front, this fat-ass organization, was walking through some town after Charlie Kirk got killed saying, white man fight back. Allegedly, a white dude killed Charlie Kirk. What the fuck are you talking about? But Charlie Kirk played to that. Come on. Come on. It is what it is. And so some of those people get them clips and they like, no, there is absolutely no reason. Let me show y'all something real quick. This is a fact. This is a fact. But you know what I won't do? I won't start running around showcasing this like it's a representation of all white males. Let me read this before we go back to this. Despite making up only 28% of the United States population, FBI data, since we now trust the FBI again, right? And this is not disparaging. I want to bring this to a point. Despite only making up 28% of the U.S. population, FBI data shows that white men are 55% of kidnappers, 56% of rapists, 58% of mass shooters, 59% of child porn arrests, 62% of statutory rapists, pedophiles, 63% of prostitution solicitors, 68% of 1934 NFA offenders, 75% of incest. That's not me. Now, that's the FBI stats. And the FBI be playing a dirty game. And people pick and choose how they want to play the stats. There's a great book called How to Lie with Data and Statistics. Okay? Now, those are FBI stats. And a lot of it's based on arrests, not necessarily convictions. Not all of them, but some. Nobody in their right mind, I can say, I heard Maj say that you should keep your children if you are away from white males because of X, Y, and Z. They try to play that our way. And Charlie used to feed into some of that shit. He did it when he was on Patrick Bet David the last time. He said, well, based on my pattern recognition, and low-key did a wink. That's the little, then when we perceptive enough to recognize it, and some people use a phrase called a dog whistle for it, right? Then they go, oh, I guess it's a dog whistle. Da-da-da-da-da. My point in saying this is, nobody can say, with me knowing that data, right? No one can say, Maj, there's a bunch of clips of Maj saying, well, facts don't care about your feelings. White males are just dangerous. I'm not saying that because I'm actually trying to unify America. And I trust a hardworking white man, black man, insert race man, American, a solid dude or woman. I trust them more than the fucking FBI. And they're the same FBI that chooses who they want to weaponize. But Charlie peddled in that. And I can't expect Republicans to be like this dense to think that Democrats won't call that. They're going to call that.
He had with people, they were uncomfortable, they were difficult, but he was laughing, he would hug people. They feel like he's been mischaracterized, and so for that respect, they say this is a resolution that everyone should be able to vote for. But you mentioned some of the key players like AOC, for example. We talked earlier about her potentially running in 28 or running for the Senate or running for the White House. So the party very much has to decide what it is moving forward. Is it more progressive? Is it more moderate? Is it establishment? I mean, this vote would suggest that there's really not a lot of common ground.
Yeah, Shannon, to yours and Aisha's point, I mean, this was a very simple resolution. It's just to honor the life of a man who was assassinated. There's no strings attached here.
Here's the funny thing. They're saying they just want to honor the legacy of a man that was assassinated. Charlie Kirk went out of his way to be disrespectful to the legacy, not factually, to the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He did. On Martin Luther King Day. He did. That happened. That happened. So you expect those people that are not looking at it from a Dr. King was a trained Marxist, Bayard Rustin, the gay dude. Before we get into all of the orgies and this and that, whatever, doesn't matter. You expect Democrats who are not looking at the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King through the lens of Marxism. And no one can deny that he did try to bring people together. What he did in his private life, that's a whole nother thing. Okay? It ain't my business. That's between him and Coretta. They're adults. So you expect the person that went out of his way to be disrespectful to the legacy of generally damn near every Democrat. A lot of Americans is like, all right, I got some respect for Dr. Martin Luther King. He could disrespect that dude's legacy, and you think the Democrats are going to be like, yeah, let's give him some honor in his death and his legacy, and he died a week and some change ago? What the fuck are you talking about? How does that make sense? In what world does that make sense to y'all? No, it doesn't make sense because they just want to argue about these things back and forth. Meanwhile, I promise you, there's going to be one, maybe two or three politicians in D.C. that's going to be talking about the CR voting and spending and the budget coming up at the end of the month. It's probably going to be Rand Paul. It might be Mike Lee. And it's definitely going to be Thomas Massey, the homie. That's what's going to happen. Unless somebody else gets shot in between. Like when Charlie Kirk was shot, 3 hours later, they got bills passed to not have the Epstein client list files presented. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Somebody else gets shot, and that's going to be the news story. And like I said to start the show, I don't want to talk about Charlie Kirk no more. I think he did some good. I think he played around with the ring and was like, you'll get clicks by saying the easiest group to make fun of and ridicule and be disrespectful to in America is Black Americans. That's the standard operational procedure to rise in the ranks on the right. Keep it a buck. Keep it real. You got Andrew Tate. He black. He impartially white. He go out there and say this. You got Nick Fuentes. While these people talk this America shit, they are not intellectually consistent. So the easiest group to make fun, when you getting up there and you got some solid backing, now we know you've made it when you start making fun of the Jews on bigger platforms and go independent, like Candace is doing. She's graduated from her black folk hate. We're going to jump right over the illegals and all of the whatevers. We're going to jump right to the Jews. Okay? Charlie Kirk played to that. He did. I'm sorry. If y'all feel offended by that, facts don't care about your feelings. The easiest group of people to make fun of, to a certain extent, when you're on the right. You can't be in the middle or on the left and make fun of black people. The left gonna cancel the shit out you. But if you could galvanize enough people on the right, it's just, you could just nigga all day. And then when they get scared that more black people are going to be aggressive about the disrespect, then they go, oh, why are you responding with violence? As if the entire world and masculinity and man shit isn't about. If I walk outside and call one of my white friends, what's up, cracker? What's up, troglodyte? What's up, da-da-da-da? I expect them to be like, who the fuck are you talking to, and respond like a man. I'm not saying they have to. But a part of aggression is a part of why would you be openly disrespectful to people? So you're saying, yo, DEI, you literally said certain people that got jobs from affirmative action that said, hey, I got this job because of affirmative action, because the system was a little messed up. Charlie Kirk jumps out there and says, yeah, you had to take the job from a white person. He said that. Come on, what you think the Democrats going to do? Honor him? Even when Malcolm X said some of the most vile things about white people, he called them devils. During the 20s and 30s, when there was a lot of white devils more frequent outside during that time, right? His dad got killed by laying him in front of a trolley train car, and it chopped his dad in half. The Klan in Lansing, Michigan. That happened, okay? So when Malcolm X made his pilgrimage to Mecca and saw the world and saw how racism on any level was wrong, he came back and he condemned and retracted his statements. He said, I am a Muslim. I do not believe in racism of any kind, but for black people to get out of this situation, black people have to work together with black people first. But he repudiated racism. Charlie played to them talking points to get the clicks and get the reposts. And he unfortunately died at a young age before he could clean that up. We watching Nick Fuentes try to clean that shit up now. I don't fuck with Nick Fuentes. They trying to clean it up now. Oh, I might not get involved in some places, so we got to cool out on the N-word. No, that's what you actually think about black people. You could not say the N-word and then be like, yeah, the blacks. If you don't get your short, no woman having, don't come outside, goofball, big head, low eyebrow, Neanderthal, troglodyte looking motherfucking ass out of here, boy. I don't rock with that. That's not a unifying principle of what America's supposed to be. America's supposed to be working together, all different backgrounds. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one from many. Y'all know that was the unofficial logo of America for a very long time until it was changed to In God We Trust. Did y'all know that? I keep telling y'all I'm a nerd out this joint. Keep telling y'all I'm a nerd. Shouts to the nerds. Shouts to the geeks. Reading books. Paying attention. Did y'all know that? One from many. The poem, Give Us Your Poor, You're Tired, You're Huddled Masses. That Ellis Island style immigration. when you conform to the concept of liberty for all and freedom and us as the people. That's what America is. Don't tell me you can't get these same talking points off without being disrespectful to a particular group of people. That's, even if they come and trying to get here unlawfully, which I'm not with. You can't have open borders in a welfare state. I want to be clear about that. So I'm not okay with that all the way. But I believe also morally in the free movement of humans. It's a conundrum for sure. But when somebody comes here because they trying to find a better way of life, because they in a communist regime, and they assimilate into this freedom thing, I got immigrants from other places that come here and become more American than most motherfuckers that been here the whole time. Don't tell me that that's my enemy if they hard working and not trying to rob and kill and steal. And the vast majority of them are hardworking people trying to generate. That's what America and that ideal is about. You could get that off without belittling. I could be against unlawful immigration until we streamline the process and get solid, hardworking people, because that's what's really want to come here. We could do that without disparaging other humans. Come on, bro. The solutionary lifestyle got 3 steps to it: empathy, facts, and solution. We deal with empathy first. Then we get to the facts. Once a person understands that you're empathetic to their situation, then we can work on the facts together. Then we come up with the solution together. Not Wrong Walter says there's no unification of America except in small specific groups. If you do have personal connection, you don't have any unification. That's false. I disagree with you. That's false. That's false. Bacon's rebellion in Virginia disproves that theory. The raid on Harper's Ferry and John Brown's respect for Frederick Douglass disproves that theory. Those are 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, and they came together under an ideal. Sky, shout outs for the repost to the stream. Everybody, if you're watching on X right now, you need to repost the stream. Shouts to Sky. Guys, the post on the wall, givesendgo.com/solutionary. Or you can join the Solutionary University. You can get these civics classes. You can get this understanding imminent threat, firearms basics, Solutionary University. I'm saying this to y'all because I want to give the whole story around why them Democrats wouldn't. You mean? Jermaine Dow says he focused on it. Bro, you focused on the wrong shit, Jermaine. Do that on your own time. Jermaine says, I'm trying to see exactly where you got those stats. I'd like to take a look at those to compare them to the ones Kirk would state. I'm being funny, Jermaine. I'm not being rude to you. All right. Those are FBI statistics that I gave. Those are FBI statistics. Not Wrong Walter says ideals are temporary. No, it ain't. I ain't saying that in a negative way, Jermaine. No, I ain't mean that in a mean way. Not Wrong Walter says ideals are temporary. That's not what the statement that you originally made. The statement that you originally made was people can't be unified. They can be unified under ideals temporarily. If I'm unified under drinking and smoking and destroying my life, and I got a team that understands that culture, we can be unified under that. I could be unified under that ideal for 10 years. 100 years is still temporary. I could be unified under that concept of limited government, freedom, justice, equality, life, liberty, and property, and happiness for all. I could be unified under that forever or for 50 years. I was raised Democrat. Then I went Republican. Now I'm Libertarian, and I might go ANCAP, but I'm still unified with those ideals. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about why them Democrats rejected the resolution honoring Charlie Kirk. And then we're talking about Republicans acting as if they should have or they would have based on his track record. And then we say, well, it's just words. These people are just very contradictory back and forth. That's what's actually happening. Greg, and I think I used to follow Greg. We used to follow each other. Now it's the 58 House Democrats that voted no. Benny says this. Today I voted against the Charlie Kirk resolution. While I condemn his violent murder, the resolution sought to elevate Charlie Kirk as a role model. I could not support that in good conscience. Read my statement below. I'm not going. Let's scroll a little bit of it. Strongest terms, violent murder, deep regret. He was killed. This is the part, and this is true. The fact is, Charlie Kirk's rhetoric was divisive, disparaging, and too often rooted in grievance. The beliefs he evangelized normal fringe views on race, sex, and immigration. Unfortunately, his rhetoric resurrected dangerous presidents of the dark past. I agree with that somewhat. What I'm not going to do is act like Rep. Benny is not going to acknowledge that some people that followed Charlie Kirk didn't get exposed to the clips. It's like Kevin Samuels. If you exposed to some of the clips, it would sound like Kevin Samuels just hate women. It's not the case. When I started listening to longer format, some of the Kevin Samuels stuff, I was like, oh, I get where you're coming from. And to be honest, he was very critical of men as well. So I'm not going to act like I fully agree with Rep. Benny right there. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'm just not. Let's see. Dr. Octopatamus, if I'm saying that right, says, I love these live streams, Maj. I don't know if this is new or what, but your takes are always so base. We need your voice in these current event issues. Hey, listen, y'all. I'm coming for Kai Sanat spot. I'm coming for Kai spot. Kai, once I get a better setup and a cameraman floating around me all the time, I'm going to be a streamer. Y'all think I could do the streaming shit? Doc also says, I see you doing it for funding at the moment, but would you ever consider doing this full time? I would do it full time if I knew that it led to serving more people. If I start making more money doing streaming, speaking of which, guys, support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Streaming across your ticker right at the bottom. If you're watching on X, hit the button, hit my pinned post. Okay? Support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If this starts doing thousands of dollars a day or something like that, then I would give y'all this perspective. My reason for doing this show, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m., is nobody else is giving y'all a balanced perspective. I don't care. I love and dislike both sides at the same time. Okay? I like things about the Republicans. I dislike things about the Republicans. I like things about the Democrats. I dislike things about the Democrats. The Democrats give me more like stuff to dislike. I'm just going to keep it above. Okay? But the Republicans aren't that far behind. The Republicans had a House, Senate, and executive branch. And they still sending money to fucking Israel and Ukraine. Still, right now. They spending at Biden levels. Okay? GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I'm saying this to say, y'all show up to my show for me to give y'all, my job is to give y'all more robust talking points. I want to distill the information, give y'all a way to look at it where you're expressing the truth, but that truth is based in facts, looking at it objectively from both sides, condensing it, distilling it, and you can regurgitate it and you'll add your own flavor to it. When you see Dr. J, when you see Kobe, you see Jordan. When you see Jordan, you see Dr. J. My job is to keep distilling this stuff and getting it to y'all so y'all can add your Kobe added a flavor onto what Mike was doing. When Mike was 4 or 5 seasons in, he was not doing what Kobe was doing 4 or 5 seasons in. Kobe took what Mike had and added to it. Okay? My job is to do that for y'all and y'all to take and add it somewhere else. That's the reason why. When Trump won this second time, it was actually the perfect time to unify the country, stand on what he ran on, and bring that American pride back. He squandered it. 1,000%. I was down. In that first 2 weeks, because I took a risk. I was there in D.C. in last March of 2024. Of 2024. When he was at the Libertarian National Convention, asking us for the support. I was with him. He put together, I say this all the time, they put together that Avengers team. I was like, bet, I'm down. In the first 2 weeks, they were amazing. Then it went to shit. They've done a 180 on everything. I have very little respect. I know Dan Bongino. I can't, and I'm glad that he's being more quiet lately, but he's the opposite of what he went in there with. I was excited. Cash Patel had us all bought on the Sean Ryan show. He did the exact opposite. Bronson says, when you say unify the country, what do you mean? Because it looks like a lot of have no interest in unifying. Nah, that's not true. America, I've been to damn near every state in America. If y'all name a state, I've probably been there twice, right? I've been to South Dakota, a bunch. I like South Dakota, actually. What I'm saying to y'all is when you go to these places, the general public is not helter-skelter. I'm telling y'all, I've been there. I've rode around the country in an RV, in a $200,000 RV, running around meeting all types of people. Black, white, and it's not just because my celebrity. I'm a C, maybe B-list celebrity on a good day in certain rooms, right? So it's not celebrity. It's, yo, this guy's doing something cool. If you're a cool person, most Americans will be cool with you. We don't suffer from a lack of desire to be unified. We suffer from a media working in conjunction with the state to consistently highlight voices that are going to be paid to spread division. It's like when they said on the media, when you go outside during COVID, oh, it's death outside, it's zombies and shit. No, it's not. They was like, oh, the hospitals are overran with death. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And then after they said it, then all of the nurses and doctors was doing TikTok videos. It's cat. So the American people do want to unify. They just need blueprints to do it. That's why we made the Solutionary 9. Most Americans want to get their finances in order. They want to be able to defend their lives. They want to be able to have a solid working understanding of how this system goes, right? They want to get in better physical fitness and shape so they can be alive longer. We literally have a blueprint that does that. It was moderates, libertarians, independents that helped Trump get in. People that wanted to see the unified front. That's most of America. They just highlight, the state highlights people that are morons that will be divisive. Or they have their own interests, because I don't know if y'all watch The Boys, right? On Amazon Prime. But that one chick that was super racist, that was like 100, 200 years old, and got with Homelander, she told him, like, yo, you don't need 50 million people. You just need like 1,500,000 people that's going to be your warriors. They pick smaller. That's a perfect example. They will keep the division going because they'll pick influencers and podcasters and give them a big microphone. This is why I keep telling y'all to highlight this signal. I don't know how many of y'all are black or white in my following, in this show tonight. I have no idea. But none of my black friends or solutionaries feel like I'm selling the black community out. And none of my white solutionaries feel like I'm being reverse racist towards them. It doesn't happen. Do you know why? Do you know why most of our supporters, when they would come to the Black Guns Matter events, there's a lot of white dudes? If y'all ever see me at a speaking event, you know how many fucking different types of people come up to me and try to take a picture and talk and talk and talk, and I give them all of the energy in the world? Black, white, da-da-da-da-da, all of that, everything in between. Because the messaging is objective, balanced, and honest without being disrespectful to any group. That is what most Americans want, desire, but they're being fed something else. I'm human. That happens to be more melanated. That's it. Most Americans want the ideal of what we were told is what we're supposed to be following, the Constitution, to limit government. That's 1,000% what most Americans want in my lived experience traveling around the country for the last 7 or 8 years. They want to be unified. They're just being, you ever burn the roof of your mouth and it would heal, but your tongue keep picking at it? The media and the government are the tongue that keeps picking at the scab, blaming both sides so we keep the division going, while they try to silence voices like mine or other ones that I've given platforms to. This is why I keep telling y'all, share the show. They need a goofball like Brandon Tatum to be at the... Of course they're going to give him an interview with Netanyahu. Of course. Of course. Of course they're going to make you think that... And I follow the Hodge twins. They're comedians, so I give them a little bit more room. But they mixed. They black and white. But they play to that shit too. They play to that little... The blacks are all out of control shit. They play to that. Of course they're going to give them certain highlights. The Hodge twins said they was going to have me on the show a while ago, and then it became radio silence ever since. Why? Because when the truth walk in the door, you as a solutionary, you the truth. You're balanced. You work hard. You're trying to destroy those pains that the state and the Federal Reserve and mainstream, so-called mainstream media is trying to make your life be a fucking miserable existence. I know the pain. I can speak to that pain in y'all because I've lived it. And I got out of it. Okay? Even if it's just my ability to eat lunch when I want to. Do you know how many people work a job that they don't like and they can't take a lunch when they want to? Even something as easy as that. I've solved that for myself. And I want y'all to solve it too. I want y'all to be healthier. I want y'all to be more knowledgeable. I want y'all to shoot better. We do that. We literally made a blueprint for it. My point in saying this is they'll highlight people that are promoted division. But if we break through with the messaging, don't get it twisted. The American people want this message. They do. The algorithm, they got the leftist Zuckerberg with Instagram and Facebook. Let them talk leftist shit over there. And X is Elon highlighting the extreme right rhetoric. I jump on all of the platforms and talk a balanced perspective. That's why it takes us long. But ours is better. Would you rather have your turkey microwave or slow roasted? We are better. We are more robust. We are more balanced. And that's our job. That's what we're here to do, guys. Anyway, guys, I think that's a good place to wrap up. Guys, I'm going to ask everybody. I'm not going to see y'all till Monday unless you hop in my DMs, right? Slide in my DMs after the show. It's 295 of you watching tonight. Thank you all that did decide to tap in on a Friday night. Y'all notice the show usually has about 600 or 700 people. But on Fridays, it get to now 300 or 400 because they going out. They playing around. The people that are trying to make this world more ununified and divided, they don't take days off. They don't take the weekends off. So I commend you all for tapping in. Pete Taylor says, hey, I like your take on Alex Jones. Just curious. Alex the homie. I got his phone number right in my phone. Alex the homie. He's getting older. And I'm not going to, if he running out of steam a little bit right now, I'm not going to let that discredit what he's already done. I understand that he's, looking at that $1 billion thing and the suit and all of that. So I've done InfoWars. I made Alex Jones cry. I've done Alex Jones' show twice. And he cried based on that talk that we was giving him. America wants that message. I don't think anybody else has made Alex Jones cry. I did. Out of love and passion. Okay? But support the work, guys. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you want to take a class, the best way that you could do it is donate $99 or more to our work. Okay? And I'm going to give you access to the Solutionary University. I've been talking about it the whole time. Right? Pause. For sure. Right? Of love and passion. I made Alex Jones cry. Oh, that's definitely pause-worthy. I made Alex Jones cry from love and passion. Pause. Jeez. Hey, you. Support the work, guys. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. It's 300 of y'all in here. It's the weekend. Most of y'all got paid, but money's still tight. I'm going to ask everybody to donate 10 to 20 bucks. That's all. 10 to 20 bucks. Support the work. Firearms Basics. Yes. McDowell. Solutionary University has shooting drills. Yes. When you sign up, so let me give this quick little spiel before I wrap up. Anybody that donates, thank you, Dr. Octopom Thomas. I'm fucking your name up, but thank you. I just got that email. I ain't going to say your whole name because I don't know if you want, the people to do it. But I just got it. I just got the email. Let's say your last name has 2 L's in it. I'll say it that way. In your email. I'll say it that way. Right? If that's true, just tell people in the chat. Okay? I'm saying that because I want people to recognize what happens. He just emailed 50 bucks. I'm going to send you access to some of the firearms class or some of the classes. I'm going to email you shortly. Everybody that donates over $100, you get access to Solutionary University. Workout routines, shooting drills, meal plans, macros, right? We custom tailor it to what you need. So if you say, hey, I'm 5'10", 190 pounds, I'm trying to gain weight, you send me that, I come up with a meal plan, workout routine. You say, hey, I need information on shooting drills because I'm trying to get better at shotgun. I'm trying to get better at AR. I'm trying to get better at long distance shooting. We created shooting drills specifically for you. Okay? Along with access to all of the classes, which are video modules that you watch on your own. It's like Amazon Video. You got a video and you watch it when you want to, as many times as you want to. I challenge everybody to share the password with your friends and family in your house. Share it like the Netflix password. Get everybody, donate at $99 to help somebody else. You get access to all of those things. And I want you to cheat and give it to other people in your household. That's what I want you to do. So support the work, guys. GiveSingo.com/solutionary. If you give it the $100 level, I'm going to have your email. I'll send you access to all of that, what I just named. Everybody that donates over the 50, let's say 50, because Dr. Octopotamus gave $50. Everybody that donates anything over 50, I'm going to send you access to a class and some other stuff. I got you. But we want to make sure that we're buying this building. We want to make sure we're keeping the classes free to all. And we want to make sure that everybody's supporting the work. These conversations are great. And I know that I give you all a lot of different good perspective. And that's my job to do it this way. But I also want to make sure that we're getting information out there and we're supporting the people that need the work. And lastly, women, more specifically women, not just women. But if you can't afford the class, Firearms Basics, Understanding Imminent Threat, and you want it for free, shoot me a DM or an email. My email is maj2ray@solutionaryuniversity.org. If you're watching on X, I'm going to be engaging y'all on X for a little bit, about an hour or so. Usually when I say that, I get a ton of DMs right after. So don't be upset if I'm, don't get immediately to you, but I will. But if you need a class, if you need access to a class, I'm going to hook you up, especially if you're a woman. And I'm not saying that to disparage the brothers because the economy's tight. Fucking inflation don't care about gender roles. Ain't got no picks, right? But women, we looking at that young lady that got stabbed on that light rail in Charlotte. And we got to try to inform as many women as possible because they are less, prone to be strong and physically strong and relating to violence and counter violence, things like that. So thank you, Reese. Appreciate that. Anyway, guys, givesingo.com/solutionary. I appreciate you all. I'll see you guys on Monday, other than everybody that's going to be DMing me and emailing me. I'll engage you there and I'll be fundraising. So please, please, please do not wait. Don't wait. Don't say you're going to do it later. Just go right to givesingo.com/solutionary, right? Donate at whatever level you choose, 10 or 20 bucks, $50 or more. I'll give you a class, $100 or more. You get access to Solutionary University. Thank you all. I'll talk to y'all in a bit. I'll see y'all on Monday on the show. Be safe. Be solutionary.